Hello, I'm Holly. Welcome to my Flosstube, Hobbies of Holly. Today is March 23rd, and this is episode 3. You all are just the best. Thank you for following along on my journey. I have to tell you that the comments just make me so happy. I'm usually sitting at the hospital, and as a comment comes through, it just makes my day to be able to interact with you all. You're my new friends, and I appreciate every one of you who likes, shares, subscribes, and comments. Thank you. I'll give you a little Graham update. He's had a rough week, I'll say, with a few setbacks. TMI, but some bowel issues, tummy issues, etc. They haven't been able to feed him for quite a few days, 12 days or something. So getting feeds going is his current hold up, but we appreciate your continued prayer and support. I am having a rare day off from the hospital because one of my other daughters from Cleveland is coming to visit with 4 of my grandchildren, and I'm very excited to see them because I haven't seen them in like a month. Speaking of Cleveland, that reminds me that I don't think I've ever told you where I live. I am in a suburb of Dayton, Ohio. So we always say we're between Dayton and Cincinnati, but we're actually closer to Dayton. So that's where I live, in the great state of Ohio. I have been stitching a little bit. I don't have a lot of time right now to stitch, but it seems like I always have time to shop. Don't tell husband. So I thought I would show you the things I have been working on, things I would like to start, and things I've purchased. The front of my pile are things that I have not had time to switch out. I know I've said I'm not a seasonal stitcher, but probably 2021 maybe, when I was early and back to stitching, I stitched some monthly series, and it has been so hectic and busy. First of all, I haven't ordered groceries since we left for Florida over a month ago. So today's the day I'm ordering groceries, and I'm changing out my February monthly things for my March monthly things. So I thought I would show you those for some previous finishes. This is Little House Needlework monthly sampler, and this is March. It's a cute one, and I enjoyed stitching these monthlies. This is one of my favorites. Don't you know, it's left my mind who does this pine, what are they called? I'll find it for you. But this is one of my favorites. I think because I stitched it when Graham was born and we spent months in the hospital, and I just love this one. I think it's adorable. So this is March, and I'll put it in the notes what it is because I can't think of it. And then this is a Stitching with the Housewives monthly series, and it had the little one that goes with it. You would think I would have pulled out the charts, but I did not. What was this called? I'll put that in the notes too. You guys, my brain is fried. I'm so sorry about that. Another thing I had up in February that I hadn't put away yet is this little JBW Amour. Isn't it pretty? It was one of my, I think it was my first JBW that I stitched. So that's gonna get put away as well. So let me move those. Things I've been working on. Once I started this, I haven't been able to put it down. This is part of Blackbird Designs Easter Parade, and I'm stitching the basket at the bottom. I'm not sure I'm gonna finish it yet. It may be a pillow, but isn't that oval frame cute? Oval frames are just a little bit harder to find, but it's been so much fun to stitch. It is on 32 count, a limestone linen, and I think that's just a Zweigart. And although I'm doing 32 count, I'm only using 1 strand, and the coverage is great. I still have the vines and the, what are those flowers? Are they poppies? Maybe poppies to add, but I love this. And another thing I'm stitching, and this is my on-the-go stitching. I keep this bag in my purse all the time. This is a Stitching by Debbie's bag. You can find her on Instagram. And I keep it loaded with everything I need for these Lizzie Kate sleds because I'm making them for my grandchildren for Christmas. And I have 12 grandchildren, so I'm making the same one. I made this penguin last year, And this year I'm making the snowman, and I'm making 12 of the same. That way I know they all have the same ornament, and it's easy for their parents one day when they grow up to know what to send with them. So I keep this in my bag, and this is my hospital stitching or my car stitching or my road trip stitching. Because the perforated paper is so easy to see, I don't need a light, I don't need magnification. And for these, I am using sulky threads, and I'm using 2 strands, and it works quite well. And I still have some Pat Carson 24 needles. And so I keep one of those in my bag, and just those little inexpensive scissors. So this just goes in my purse all the time. Another easy stitch, also perforated paper, is the Satsuma Street. I started this in the car as car stitching, and I paused because I lost my needle. And I love the skinny needles she includes in her kits. They're John James, but it doesn't list what size it is, so I'm gonna have to steal from another one of the kits. But this is how far I've gotten on the turtle doves. It's just so bright and happy. So that's another fun car or on-the-go stitch that I'm working on. So those are my current whips. Not very many that I've worked on, but it works. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you. This is the floss for the Easter parade, and it's such pretty Gentle Arts floss. But I have discovered that these shower curtain rings are maybe one of my favorite rings for flosses. I could not think of what to Google and find this on Amazon, and Missy from 2 Needles Pulling Thread said, well, are they just shower curtain rings? And I was like, you're brilliant. So they come in a pack with this many from Amazon, shower curtain rings. They're $8 for a bunch of them. One of the reasons I like them is they're easy to open, and not everything falls off like it does with the binder clips. Plus, it's thinner. So, you know, there are some, I think it's the thread milk drops that have a smaller hole here, and they get stuck on the hinge of the binder clips. And so I really like these. The first one I got, and I had not thought of using them, was of course in a D-stash. I bought a kit, and the floss was on one of these, and I thought that's so smart. So this is my new way I'm storing floss. Okay, would you like to see what I've gotten in the mail? Well, first, can we start with this beautiful bag? Look at this. Oh my word. I'm gonna open it for you. It's called a Poppins bag, and it's by Gorgeous Bags by Ursula on Etsy. Look at how big this is and how big it opens up. I chose my own fabric and mailed it to her, and she got this finished so quickly. So the story behind it is, when we were at Beach Please retreat, as I've said, I had to leave early, but Teresa the Garden Goose and Tam stayed and found all the fun things that you find at retreats. And Jody from Stitching at Ocala, I'm gonna have to look up her Flosstube name too. You guys excuse my brain. It's okay. I'm used to this brain. But she had this bag, and she keeps her whips in it, and she takes it to retreats, and I love it. This is a French General fabric that I ordered from Happy Little Stitch Shop, and they sent it directly to Ursula for me. And again, she finished it so quickly, and she's so sweet. I highly recommend her. Again, her name is Ursula, Gorgeous Bags by Ursula on Etsy. Okay, so that's the first fun thing I got in the mail. My next fun thing I got in the mail was another set of bags from Debbie Stitching on Instagram. She just makes the most beautiful things. And this has this thread bed, but it's great for smaller kits and charts because it's got zippers on each side, a little scissor case, a little needle or thread bed, or needle book, I guess this is. And then this time it came with a patchwork quilted one. But guess what she did for me? I had mentioned that I was looking for this. She made this for me, custom. And inside it holds my stitching tray. I love my stitching tray. It sits on my lap when I stitch. I take it to retreats. And so this bag holds my stitching tray. And I love it because I can keep the contents in it, slide it in the bag. I don't even have to empty my tray. So Debbie made this for me. And then can we talk about the stitching tray? So, oh, mine's dirty. Excuse that. I truly use it all the time, and I emptied it to show you. But Sherry Ward, who has an Etsy shop, and I can tell you her name because she's in my haul. Her Etsy shop is called Creative Keeps Studio. If you contact Sherry, she can tell you when she'll get more of these or maybe order you one of these. This ruler box, I've used it for probably 2.5 years, maybe getting close to 3 years. And I keep my stand, so my chart sits here, and then my scissors, needles, just anything I need sits in here. And it just sits in my lap. And this is what I always use to stitch. Speaking of Sherry, I love her. She's a sweetheart. She was having some things on the D-stash, and so I got these from her. This is Blackbird, Birds of a Feather. Isn't that cute? And then this is Toasted Almond Fabrics by Stephanie. And she may have more of this, but if you go on her Etsy shop, she has charts, she has fabric, she has notions. So that is Sherry. Can I show you another Amazon find? I've decided, you know the plastic zipper bags, and there's kind of a love-hate relationship with those. I found these on Amazon, and they're much nicer. They're more of a net instead of plastic. And what I like about them is they have a handle, and they have 2 pockets. So this pocket, you could put your thread, notions, etc., and then keep your chart in this side. But what I use them to do is to keep my kitted projects in. And I like them because they're flatter. This one's kind of a big kitted project. In fact, this has Valdani, I think, in it. But they are flat, so when I store my kits, they're perfect. And I keep smaller kitted projects in this front side and larger in the back. And that way, again, I can compress and condense my kits a little bit more. When I'm ready to actually start them, I'll put them in a regular project bag. But until then, I really love these. Okay, also in the mail this week came the Punch Needle and Primitives. What is this, spring edition maybe? This might be my favorite one yet. There are so many beautiful projects in here. Have you gotten yours or picked yours up? I may have to start some of these right away. Love that. I found another stitched piece on the D-Stash group. This time I know the chart. This is a Blackbird. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if you can see the lettering on there, but I love this. I'm probably gonna make either a pillow or maybe a stand-up with that. My market haul came. These are my things I chose. I love Stacy Nash. Oh, one day I'll have to show you the bag I made from her, and it was so addictive that as soon as I started it, I couldn't put it down until I finished it. So this is the Federal Sampler and Sewing Bag Chart by Stacy Nash. Little Robin Designs, Straighten Your Crown. Keep your head high and your crown straight. I thought this was perfect. As the mom of 4 girls, I liked this a lot. This is a Lucy Beam, Friends Are Flowers. Friends are the flowers of life. I love my stitching friends, and I thought this might come in handy for a gift one time. Okay, this. Do you follow Mojo Stitches? She has a beautiful Flosstube. I love her accent. She talked about this work cushion that Cottage Garden Threads has designed. And so she puts this on her lap, and it's adjustable. So you can make it tighter to make it sit higher or looser to make it sit flatter. And then it's got pockets to hold your floss. These corners are pockets. I loved this. And then she stitched a pattern that you could put in the center of it. I haven't decided if I'm going to stitch this because I have some finished pieces that I don't have a plan for yet, and I thought I might use those as a center. And I've just ordered some fabric, like I didn't have enough. Can you see my fabric? That's my quilting fabric behind me. But I ordered some fabric that might match one of my projects. So I'd like to get around to sewing this. But again, it's called the Work Cushion by Cottage Garden Threads. I purchased this from Top Knot Stitcher, so I know she carries this if you would like to get it. I told you how much I'm loving the Satsuma Street ornaments, so I ordered these two. They're just so soothing to stitch. I really enjoy them. I need to finish that one I'm working on. And then I ordered The Greatest of These is Faith by Summer House Stitchworks. I got to meet Beth at Stitch Away this year, and I thought that was really pretty. It only uses 3 colors of floss, and so I thought that could be a fun stitch as well. And I know she has plans for 2 more, which I assume will be Hope and Love. Okay, look how fun this is. Susan Bates, this book, Cross Stitch Dolls. I think these are so adorable. So I had to have this. Let me see if I can show. Look at this. Aren't they cute? As a grandmother, I'm gonna have to find time to make some of these, at least for the little ones, because those are adorable. I love this floral skirt on this one. Again, Susan Bates, My Cross Stitch Doll is the name of this book. And it's a good sized book with quite a few different dolls to choose from. I can't really show you where I would show you the charts, but I'm excited about that one. Okay, more D-Stash haul. This heartstring samplery, it's called the HF 1837 Sampler. I sent it to my friend group, and Teresa quickly caught, I hadn't even caught the subtitle, is Jesus, Mary, and a Lobster. So I read the details, and I think this is symbols for Jesus, this for Mary, and then there's a lobster right here beside it. So that came with the NPI silk, and I would like to get this started right away. Look at those colors. Isn't that beautiful? So that excited me. I'd like to get stitching on that. I also bought a Blackbird Stitch by Stitch. I have finished one of the other hearts in this series, and it was a fast stitch and finished so cute. So there's that. I am always a sucker for a Hands Across the Sea, and this is Margaret. I assume that's Beatty. Look how cute that little girl is. Again, I'm a girl mom, so that spoke to me. And then I got a Plum Street Winter Blessings. Again, Katie Strachan influenced me whenever she talks about a book. So I ordered this book. Look how big this book is. It is called Imitation and Improvement, The Norfolk Sampler Tradition by Joanne Martin Luckecker. And it just has beautiful things in it. So that was also added to my stash this week. May we talk about some Flosstubes that I've watched and some comments. Once Upon a Stitch Lori was very kind and commented on my Flosstube because she had a granddaughter named Libby. I think she said it's episode 136 that she talks about Libby's story. And she and I had messaged a little bit when she first told us about Libby. And so she just reached out to say she was enjoying the Flosstube, but also had been praying for Graham. And that meant a lot from a fellow medical grandmother who I knew understood. So Once Upon a Stitch Lori is fantastic. I watched Sassy Southern Stitches. Megan and Lisa are real life friends. I love when I get to go to a retreat with them. But Megan had found something I had to stop the video and order right away. It's a bog backpack. And I do love a good bog bag, but her stitching tray fits in it because they also use stitching trays. So I ordered that ASAP in pink because pink sounded fun. And so I'm hoping to take that to the library stitchers retreat in Maine next month because I thought that could be a good carry-on. I hope it fits under the airplane seat, but I thought I could put my stitchy things in that. Let's see, Running with Scissors, Jane and Julie. I love them so much. They always make me laugh. I love following along. Jane has been ill and in the hospital again, so I'm so glad she's home and doing well. Did you see Shelly, the antique needleworker, video on pen stitch? I learned the pen stitch a while back, and it is a game changer. And I picked up some tips from her. I still can't get how she was threading a needle over her finger, but I'll keep trying. But the pen stitch, if you haven't tried it, is such a great way to start. And one mistake I think I had been making was not leaving a long enough tail. So I felt like I had just a little bit of too much floss. And so leaving a longer tail so I can cut it really close. Speaking of that, my favorite scissors, have I told you this before, are by the Scissorist. These are the butterfly, are they? Yes, these are the butterfly scissors. They have just the right weight to them, so they have a very good hand, but they are so sharp down to the point, can you see that? That they get really nice and close for pen stitch starts. And they come in this beautiful leather sheath. I love those. Let's see. Another floss tube I always learn from and love are the Curious Crafters. Do you watch them? I highly think you should. And Floss Toss. Rachel and Sue, they're just calming to me. Also, Sue has an Instagram that she does. She comes on live 3 days a week, and she calls it Periscope, but I don't think she's on Periscope anymore, but she still calls it that. And it is just a really fun way to start your morning. I'll try to link that below too. I always watch as soon as it comes out, and usually I know it's uploading, so I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. Teresa the Garden Gooch, Missy and Kathy from Two Needles Pulling Thread, and Kia. They are my other stitching besties that I follow all the time too. I think that's all I have for you today. I hope that you are stitching lots. Please tell, no, I want to do one more thing. I want to give away, did I pull it? Hold, please. Let's see if I can edit and get back to this. Okay, I'm back. So my last episode, it was very embarrassing when I showed you the framed piece that I purchased on D-Stash and then was telling you about the stitch along I wanted to do with Jem. But you found it humorous, so I'll find it humorous too. But I wanted to give away my chart since I no longer need to stitch it. So Come Into My Garden by Blackbird Designs is going to be a giveaway. And the word I would like you to use is funny, because it was pretty funny when that happened, even though embarrassing is also a word I would use to describe it. And then in true Holly fashion, I accidentally purchased this twice. So if you do not yet have a copy of this cookbook, it's got some fun recipes, a lot of desserts, and some really fun charts too I would like to stitch. So if you would like to be the recipient of my duplicate, please comment cook, and I will give both of these away next time. I so appreciate you joining me. You being here means so much to me. I hope that you will remember that every day is a gift. Please go love well today. I'll see you next time.